So I had to tell one of my recipients tonight, I'm not dating. He was disappointed. He thinks I'll change my mind, but no. And I don't want to know what that is. There's something by the sidewalk. I'm just gonna keep going. That was one thing when I was a kid. My vision wasn't great. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that before. I did see a car with a bunch of full-size Mexican flags waving around, going down the street. I thought that was fun. Yeah, so when I was a kid, my vision wasn't great. I mean, I could read and everything with the glasses on, but sometimes I would see an object and I couldn't tell what it was until I got up on it. Or I would look out the window and I couldn't tell if it was raining, so I learned to look at the puddles. If there were puddles on the ground and they were, and droplets were hitting it, then I knew it was raining. But, by the time I was 10, my vision was very good, corrected. Even now, it's like 20/30, 20/40, something like that. It's pretty good with glasses. And I prefer the line in the glasses. It took me a while to get used to that, using the line, using bifocals, period. But my eye doctor said it would take a lot longer if I got the other kind. Not to mention they were more expensive, so I just got the line. And I don't care if people know I need bifocals. I really don't care. There's something very liberating in not having to impress people. I wear, just for fun, just going home here, I will talk about beauty routines. So, I do the henna about once a month, and I put it on my hair. I wash my hair with like a clarifying type shampoo or one of those cheap detergent shampoos, like a VO5 or Suave or something, and no conditioning stuff in it at all, just the plain strong shampoo, or even dish soap would work. And I let it dry about halfway. I put the henna paste on. I wrap my head up, I go to bed, and I have a bunch of henna videos if you want to see that. And then for my hair, I do like a regular shampoo and conditioner. Jovi's, something fell. Oh, my tissues, they keep falling out. So, Jovi's has a pretty good version of Fructis shampoo. The green one with the fruit oil. And okay, there we go. That one is, works for me. The Aussie, I think it's Miracle shampoo and conditioner is good too. That's not horribly expensive either. I have very, very oily hair, so I need a pretty strong shampoo. It doesn't need to be moisturizing. I'll use the conditioner for that. And then I just put whatever conditioner about halfway down the shaft to the ends, and then I clip it up on my head with a plastic clip, and then I just proceed with the rest of the shower, and then I rinse my hair before I get out, and that seems to work okay for me. And then when I remember, once a week I put castor oil about halfway down the shaft to the ends, and a little bit of rosemary oil on the front. But it's not rosemary essential oil. It is rosemary essential oil added to a carrier oil, which I think is castor oil and mineral oil. I get it prepackaged, and I put it right here on this just to help with fill it out and hopefully grow some more hair and, not go bald, basically. And I go to bed with my hair oiled up. And I did this a couple days ago. And the bonnet fell off in the middle of the night, but I was still fine, so I wouldn't even worry about the bonnet anymore for that. And then when I get up in the morning, I just use the regular cheap shampoo only to get the oil out. But it still has done its job on the hair, if that makes sense. Now for the face, I have very, very oily skin. I had terrible acne problems until my mid to late 20s when I figured out I needed more vitamin A. Once I started supplementing with vitamin A, the acne problem resolved. I still have some scars from it because I'm the type of person, if there's like an irregularity with my skin, I pick. And I'll get into the hands in a minute. So, I just use like the Neutrogena acne soap. It's like a glycerin bar. It has kind of a distinct fragrance, and it was very, very drying to my skin, which was good because I needed that. And I mean, forget the T-zone. I mean, the whole face just get shiny. I mean, you could see it now. And so I would use that, and that was basically it. And now and then I would buy a little makeup and put it on, but the last 25 years I have had jobs where I had to do some pretty serious physical labor, so that makeup is going to come right off. Now I currently have a little bit of powder and a decent assortment of eyeshadow and some clear mascara, which I have dated, so I can throw it out in 6 months because I don't want to get an eye infection. And that's about it. And I don't even really use that unless it's a special occasion, like my aunt is coming to visit, or I'm taking myself out to dinner, or I'm doing a Bible handout sometimes. I'll do like a little eye makeup because, nothing else is going to stay because I'm sweating. So, and that's fine. I don't care about that. And I save a lot of money, I think. One thing I can say about my job at work is there's a lot of business in cosmetics, especially around holidays. There is a dead snake in the road. I don't know if you can see it. I don't want to be near the dead snake. So, the God of peace will crush Satan under your feet. So, that's pretty much it for the beauty routine. Now, about 8 years ago, I noticed my skin was getting really dry from the acne soap. So, I just switched to like a regular unscented bar soap, like the Dr. Bronner's or Dove, or the Costco generic brand with the shea butter that's unscented. I'm using that right now. That's fine. And I didn't really use like facial cleanser type things. I don't like them really, so I just rather have a bar soap. So I'll do that, and that's fine, at least for now. And my hands, once I hit menopause, which was a couple years ago, well, technically about less than a year ago, I was officially in menopause. So anyways, I noticed a couple things, and I particularly that my hands were getting very dry, and around the cuticles, and I would pick at them. Now, part of it is we use a pretty harsh soap at work, and guess what? It's a Walmart, so you want a pretty harsh soap at work. And I just use like pretty much any kind of hand soap at home, but I wash my hands a fair amount at home, especially if I'm cooking. Um, so I couldn't really come up with something that worked for my hands that wasn't like greasy until I started doing the castor oil for my hair. And the way I do the castor oil is there's a bottle with a hole in the lid, basically. And I just shake it into my palm of my hand and I spread it on my hair. And I noticed that when I was done, my hands felt great. And they looked great and, they stayed great for quite a while. And I thought, that's the secret. So every morning when I get out of the shower and I dry off, I put some castor oil on my hands. And that works really well. And if I'm feeling really diligent, I have a little mix of shea butter and coconut oil I whipped up. And I had them separate. I actually used this is the coconut oil I use for cooking. I took some of it and I put it in a little container and I mixed it with some shea butter. And this is just raw shea butter. And I'll apply that on my hands and feet, put my socks on, and that soaks in pretty quick. And then I feel like my hands are good for most of the day. Oh, it's just a tissue. That thing scared the crap out of me. Okay, so my feet are pretty happy. I don't really do anything. I've never had a pedicure, and I've heard so many stories of people getting infections. I don't ever want a pedicure. I remember when I was, getting married. My aunt's like, "Oh, I want to give you a nice beauty treatment." And I said, "Well, I'll take a manicure, but that's it." So I got a manicure and my hair done, and that was it. And they put, they did a they put makeup, which was fine. So they had packed my makeup though. They didn't know what it was in the bag, so they packed it in the car, and then the car drove off to the venue. So I didn't have any makeup. So they used my great aunt's makeup on me on my wedding day, and it was fine. I felt like I looked okay. It wasn't like I don't look like some Pop-Tart. That's all I cared about. Why, hello. But yeah, so I had some interesting recipients tonight. Other than the drivers, the bus was very crowded because my first bus to come home, leaving work, that bus was delayed. There were issues, and so the bus was very crowded. And I managed to get a seat, but it was next to this young guy, and he was black. He was, for lack of a better word, urban, and I think he had dreads, and he was very, very chill. I can kind of tell somebody's gonna be a problem, and he kind of scooted over when he saw me, so I knew he would be okay. And I sat down and said, "I'm so glad I lost the weight." He said, "Oh, you used to be fat." I showed him my picture. He's like, "Whoa," so that was a good start. And when he got off, I gave him a gospel packet. And he was just enthralled with the booklet from World Missionary Press. He was reading it, and he almost missed his stop because he was reading it. And he said, "Oh, I'm going to keep this in my room." And I said, "I want you to have this too," because I'm just the kind of person that I always carry a New Testament in my safety vest. So I gave him that also. It was a New Testament with Psalms. And so he left, and then one of my off and on recipients got on, and she wanted a packet, so I gave her one. Another recipient said hi, and wanted a packet, so. And the funny thing is that these guys got on the bus, and they saw the gentleman eating some of the candy, and they basically took the packet from him and took some candy, and then they saw there was like Jesus stuff in there, and they couldn't give it back to him fast enough, and then they got off, and I thought it was pretty funny. We were laughing about it, but so that was kind of my day. And there was a homeless guy. He was having a hard night. I don't know what he was on. He was very sedated. But I got the feeling I would not want to be around him when it wore off. So I was very, very careful about giving him the packet. I put it next to him as I got off when he was distracted, so he didn't necessarily know it was me. I mean, he may have figured it out, he may not, it doesn't matter, but he got it, and I could hear him, talking some when I got off, so I think he realized somebody had given him something, so. But, and then the first driver I knew somewhat. I've had her before. I think she's been on the extra board and done a trip or two. It's nice and cool right now. This is nice. And ooh, I got something. And I have no idea what this is. I got my electric bill. Ooh, yeah, let's see what that is. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm going to pay this when I get paid next week. So, there are two important things, the amount and the due date. The due date is the 24th, and the amount is 88. Okay, that's not bad. This is still running a pretty good amount. Okay. Yeah, so I can live with that. Okay. I keep the thermostat about 80, 82. Most people in Houston kind of hiss and, freak when I say that. But hey, I'm a widow. I've got one income. I'm going to be cheap with that thing, especially since I'm gone so much. I mean, I can't afford to spend, $500 a month to keep the cats happy. So, yeah. And Clea doesn't seem to care. Spotty is a little more fussy about that kind of thing. But, yeah, so anyways, I had it was a long journey home, but it was productive, I think. I feel like I met my appointments. I served them. I went into my ride home with the right spirit of humility and servitude. And, I didn't discriminate because, the one homeless guy, I'm sure most people would cross the street to avoid him, but, it was a white guy too, so. And I'll be honest, it's the white guys on the bus that tend to make me nervous. They tend to be the troublemakers and more unpredictable, very easily offended, things like that. So the black guys, I don't have any problem with them. Young, old, we have mutual respect, for lack of a better phrase. Latinos, I speak a little Spanish. I call them jefe, which means boss, and so they're cool. But yeah, I don't know what this book is. I will put this in my comments, I guess, because I'm home and the lights are on and it's going to be a heat warning day. The heat index is going to get up to 105 tomorrow. And I am not supposed to get overheated. Oh, and I have to put in a little plug here for my friend, the cooling towel. I got a package of 10 of these from Walmart.com. I love them so much. They are wonderful. And they really do work. I gave some of them away to people who I thought needed them more than me. And I always figured if I decide I want more, I can get more. And I will be getting more. Because I really, really like them. And it's fun that I can, coordinate with my outfit. So, alrighty, I'm home. The house is pleasant and refreshing. My brother and I have the same take on air conditioning. Keep it about 80 or so. And then, like he says, you know, if you come home and it's 100 degrees outside and it's 80 when you walk in the house, it feels pretty damn good. And he's got a good point. So that is it. I got marshmallow cream all over my vest. So I either need to find my backup vest or wash this. That is a hoodie. I can't wear that. That's a hoodie. That's a hoodie. That is condiment cups. Oh, I want that. And you. And you. And you. My couch tends to be the catch-all for things. But if it's here, I'll find it. I think it's over there. Alrighty, that's it.